you have to like edit the videos, like the music?
Yeah, I do all the music.
Is
All,
it really
all the
hard?
sound bites. It used to be hard, but now I've like figured it out. This laptop hates me though. It likes to, the program likes to just close in the middle of it without even repeating anything. So, yeah. So if someone's walk-up song doesn't play, just know, not my fault.
Next batter for the Blues, the shortstop, number 7, Diego Arroyo.
Probably Chance.
Jasso?
Yeah.
Nice.
Jasso and pretty much everybody on the team like that.
Aw, that's sweet.
Well, of course.
When the Blues score, you score. $3 Coors Light, $3 Coors Banquet, $4 glass on the field recording line. Right now, all cups provided courtesy of Injectors Direct. And the special effects come from Magic FX. Both sides of the ballpark until the end of the inning.
Well, I sent H,
Here's number 16 at the plate, Jose Suzuki.
You don't have to worry about.
Yeah, I know, I put the one right. Oopsie.
Number 16 at that.
16?
Jose.
Got a straight ball.
Ball. Ball. Okay. I wasn't paying attention either. Wow. I think it was a ball.
The Blues have scored one here in the top of the bottom of the first inning. That ball swung on and sent into shallow right field, and that'll be it for the bottom of the second. The Blues leave 2 on but score 1, and we'll head into the top of the second order. everyone once again. A couple of technical difficulties up here in the press box, but we should have a smooth rolling game for you guys now. A little bit of a recap. The top of the first inning, Spencer Gallimore on the mound. He faced Braden Flores, Jacob Freer, and Zach Late. Flores flew out to center field, followed by 2 Ks to end the top of the first. In the bottom, Cesar Chavez singled, followed by Miles Mader with a single as well, pushing Chavez over to second. Comerford and Ashlock striking out, followed by a double by Diego Murillo to score Cesar Chavez the first run of the game. And Kosei Suzuki, the 6th batter to the plate, flying out to right field to end the inning. Gallimore will now face Cannon King, the right fielder for the Arroyo Seco Saints. In the top of the second inning, he'll swing and send that one back to Cesar Chavez in center field for a base hit, the first hit of the game for the Saints. Last night, we saw the first hit for the Saints coming in the 6th inning. So big for them to get a little bit more momentum earlier on.
Yeah, and Addy, we'll see how Spencer responds to this right here. Last week when OC started to get a lot of hard contact against him, that's when it started to kind of unravel for the Blues. First hit, obviously, here in the second inning. We'll see how his mound presence changes, if at all.
He'll face Owen Mangini, the designated hitter today. Did not appear in the game last night. First pitch to him, a ball. Mangini wearing number 15, hitting in the middle of the order today. Called strike. Spencer Gallimore, always a fun pitcher to see on the mound, especially at home. And on a beautiful Saturday, kind of weird weather yesterday. It was a weird mist, a weird like fog almost, or clouds kind of settled over the field later in the game. It was a 6 p.m. start, so we were expecting it to get dark anyways, but a weird little like June rain almost. It was weird weather here.
So Addy, I don't think I said this, but when I went to go grab the cameras from center field, it was raining.
Really? Like full raining?
Yeah, the batteries, the cameras, everything, they were wet. And like there was a little bit of rain coming down at like 9:30 p.m. last night.
I remember walking back out to my car after like finishing everything here. It was like misting, and I was like, is it June? Is this summer? I was very confused. But a beautiful day today, not a cloud in the sky. That ball hit hard into left field. Wow. They say the umpire calls that fair, and that is a 2-run home run for the designated hitter, Owen Mangini. Sends that one far left out into the bus depot out in left field. And that ball absolutely crushed.
Yeah, that ball was barely fair by maybe a couple of inches. Really good contact on a pitch that just caught far too much of the plate. Spencer definitely wants that one back.
I'm sure I didn't even realize that was, I fully thought that was foul. I don't know what I was seeing from up here, but wow, a 2-run home run for the Arroyo Seco Saints. They will take the lead in the top of the second. You were just mentioning Spencer Gallimore's adjustments, especially getting a hit off of him early on from Cannon King, who led off the inning, and now a 2-run home run. It'll be interesting to see kind of his approach now for the rest of this inning.
Yeah, and that's kind of how things unravel when you're in baseball, right? A little bit of weak contact, a bloop, and a blast, as they call it.
Yeah. That ball fouled back over the third base side. That left field out 335 feet. That ball going back at least another, I would say 15. You could see it hit into the bus parking lot back behind the field.
And that is not an easy home run to hit, especially at this time of day. Usually we see a lot of the home runs hit on Sundays early in the day, not in the second inning of a Saturday 4 o'clock start.
No, you can see the wind just pumping the flag out in center field. And That'll be a walk to Sean Asperger. There are no outs in the top of the second inning. A 2-run home run from the designated hitter, Owen Mangini, the second batter to the plate. That's now the third base runner in the inning.
And this is what we came to expect with Arroyo Seco coming into this place. A lot of their scores have been high scores for both of the teams, so a lot of offense on both sides usually means suboptimal pitching as well as really good hitting by the Saints.
Yeah, it's interesting. We were talking about Spencer Gallimore against the Santa Barbara Foresters a couple of weeks ago, that 14K day on 7 innings. As Asperger goes for second, the tag will not be in time, and that'll be a stolen base and a runner in scoring position. Already, the Arroyo Seco Saints have scored the same amount of runs as they did in total of yesterday's game. And the Blues having scored 1 already in the bottom of the first.
This is going to be a tough task for him to suppress this offense, but if anyone can do it, it's probably Spencer Gallimore.
The pitch is low and outside for ball 1. The count is 1-2 to Brandon Nguyen, the center fielder for the Saints. We saw him in last night's game. He recorded a double in the ninth inning, an RBI. Before that, 2 flyouts and a ground. Hill hit that one, and the catcher Miles Mader will send it down to Sean Rivas, who stands over at first, and that'll be out number 1. A little look at the fielding for the Blues today. On the mound, as we've mentioned, Spencer Gallimore over at first is Sean Rivas, followed by Brady Alves, Diego Murillo, and Brendan Comerford. From left to right in the outfield is Nahar Chavez and Suzuki. The designated hitter, Mason Ashlock, in the squat today, Miles Mader. Pitch is swung on and sent to Kosei. Suzuki out in right. Hill fall back and grab that one. Hill send it in as Asperger goes for third. The play will be in time. A huge throw from Kosei Suzuki out in right field to the third baseman, Brendan Comerford, who gets Sean Asperger out with the tag. And that'll be it for the top of the second inning. The Arroyo Seco Saints score 2 on a 2-run home run from the designated hitter, Owen Mangini. We'll be back with the bottom of the second, the Blues trailing 2-1. Seco Saints take an early lead in the top of the second off a 2-run home run from the designated hitter, Owen Mangini. A ball absolutely crushed out into left field. The Blues scored 1 in the bottom of the first from Cesar Chavez after a single and a double from Diego Murillo a little later on in the lineup, who brought him all the way around. We will see Sean Rivas to the plate to start it off for the bottom of the second. The first pitch low and inside for ball 1. Rivas, who is taking over at first base today. CJ Moran taking a little bit of a break after an incredible game at the plate yesterday night. So we'll see Sean Rivas over at first. The pitch a called strike one.
And would you believe this, Addy? First base, not even Sean Rivas' primary position.
It's not.
He is a catcher.
He's a catcher.
He has not caught for the Blues all year. Yet, of course. Yet.
That ball would be fouled off to the backstop for strike two. It'll be interesting to see how the infield adjusts the right side. Couple new faces. Well, not even new faces, but we've really kind of gone used to our corner infielders. We've had Moran and Comerford, who have been primarily at first and third. Comerford still over at third. Diego Murillo over at shortstop. But on the right side of the field, we have Brady Alves at second and Sean Rivas at first. He will swing and miss, and that'll be the first out of the bottom of the second inning.
And that was a good pitch right there. It looked like a changeup to a right-hander. That's typically the pitch that you want to throw to the opposite-sided hitter that you're facing. So left-handed changeup to neutralize a right-handed bat just made sense in that count.
Dom Nahar will step to the plate. The junior from Cal State Monterey Bay. That'll be ball one to Nahar. Nahar, who did not appear in last night's game. He'll send that one foul over the first base side.
He's come alive recently, though. Last game he played against Alameda, I believe he went 2 for 3, had a walk.
3 for 4.
3 for 4.
Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. No, you're right. 2 for 4. The count is 1-1 with 1 out. That ball will be high and outside for ball 2. It was still 2 doubles from Dom Nahar the last time he played, which was at home just a couple of days ago on Wednesday against the Alameda Merchants, hitting in that 9 spot. Today he's in the 8th, and he'll swing and send that one to left field. That one will go back and fall to the warning track. He'll get to second base and stop there. A double for Dom Nahar to start off the game, and the first base runner of the bottom of the second inning.
And such an important piece to get going. Dom Nahar, who kind of had a slow start to the season, originally occupied the leadoff spot for the first week of the season until Cesar Chavez, CJ Moran, some other guys got there. Dom Nahar getting it going would give us yet another option in that outfield and the leadoff spot.
Up to the plate, Brady Alves, and you're right, we kind of, the coaching staff really lucky that a lot of the bats have been hot for the Blues recently. Cesar Chavez is leading it off yet again today. We've seen CJ Moran, as you mentioned, Kyle Becker up there, Dom Nahar, who kind of started off this season. Brady Alves now at the plate. He'll swing for strike number 1. Alves, who we've kind of seen move around a little bit in the lineup as well. We've seen him a lot in the 7, 8, 9. He moved up to the 2 spot a couple of weeks ago. We even saw him come in for Cutter Gauge Webb against Santa Barbara last Sunday and hit in the leadoff spot. The count is 1-1. Brady Alves, who's playing over at second today. We saw Joey Blank there yesterday. Blank, who grounded out and popped out on the day with 1 error. The pitch, big swing for strike 2.
And at this moment, Addy, if you're Brady Alves, you're really just thinking, I need to put something in play to the right side of the infield to get Dom Nahar to third base and have Cesar bat with the runner on third.
The top of the order, as you mentioned, Cesar Chavez on deck. Count 1-2 to Brady Alves. The pitch is swung on and fouled off. He will stay alive in this at-bat. This is Alves' 10th game with the Blues this season. As I mentioned, last playing against the Santa Barbara Foresters when he came in for Cutter Gauge Webb. Recorded just 1 strikeout. Also played against the Philippines baseball group. O'Regan will throw it over to second, but the tag will not be in time. Joe O'Regan on the mound for the Arroyo Seco Saints, currently in the portal. Looking for somewhere to call home. His 4th appearance, 4th start, and that'll be it for Brady Alves. Strikeout swinging in the bottom of the 2nd. That'll be 2 outs. And Cesar Chavez, the leadoff batter, up to the plate.
Top of the order for the Blues, number 49, Cesar Chavez.
Dom Nahar stands over on second, a double into left center field to get him on. Looking to make it around. Cesar Chavez at the plate, who singled in the 1st, and an RBI double from Diego Murillo brought him around for the 1st run of the game. Dom Nahar dancing over on second. The 1st pitch, a called strike.
Yeah, and it looks like the second baseman for the Saints is trying to hold Dom on, and I guess, yes, that is probably an important thing to do with the amount of speed that Nahar does have, but for somebody that works the right side of the field as well as Chavez does, probably not the best idea.
The pitch is low for ball 1. And Dom Nahar has speed over there on second, just 180 feet away from touching the base. The Blues are trailing 2-1. A base hit up the right side would easily bring around Dom Nahar. The count is 1-1, 2 outs. Swung on and sent over the right side. It'll fall foul.
To their peanut butter and jelly table in the bullpen.
Peanut butter and jelly tip. That sounds delicious.
Foul balls are sponsored today by
1 ball and 2 strikes to Cesar Chavez, who led off in last night's game. Over 4 at-bats, 1 single, and a stolen base, which eventually brought him around. Grounded out, flew out, and popped out in his other plate appearances. The 1-2. Swung on and sent up the left field line. That'll be fielded by the 3rd baseman, who will bobble it, and the play to first will not be in time. Chavez will reach first on an error, and Dom Nahar will move over to 3rd.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate break for O'Regan on the mound, who made a really good pitch and got a really good hitter to hit it in that spot. Unfortunately, the 3rd baseman just couldn't come up with the ball.
Over at 3rd is Sean Asper for the Arroyo Seco Saints. And Miles Mader will come up with 2 outs and 2 runners on the corners. Mader did not appear in the game last night. Jack Riddell in the squat. The pitch to Mader is a called strike 1. We saw Mader appear against Santa Barbara on Thursday. He did not record a hit or reach base. His day rounded out with a fly out, 2 strikeouts, and a ground out. He'll hit that one to the right side. The right fielder making the play, and that'll be it for the bottom of the 2nd inning. The Blues leave 2 runners on, an error to the 3rd baseman with just 1 hit. We will go into the top of the 3rd inning. The Arroyo Seco Saints leading the Blues 2-1. Nishiwa will lead it off in the top of the third inning for the Arroyo Seco Saints. They lead the Blues 2-1 in the last inning. A 2-run homer from Owen Mangini to give the Saints their first lead in the game. The first pitch low for ball one. Spencer Gallimore on the mound for the Blues. This will be his third inning. He faced just the minimum in the top of the first before the 2-run inning for the Saints in the second. The Blues scored in the bottom of the first, and go scoreless in the bottom of the second as Gallimore serves strike one. Nick Nishiwa, the catcher for the Saints. Yesterday, Cam Andrews in the squad. The count is 3-1. Nishiwa ahead of the count. The pitch swung on and sent foul to the Little League field. Nishiwa from Maui, Hawaii. A sophomore at Golden West College. The full count pitch is fouled off to beer one. Sorry, make that beer two.
Yeah, the one to the right of us next to the Little League field, that is beer two.
Beer two.
My brother is working bike valet out there.
Really?
He is.
Wow.
He's growing up.
Nishiwa played in 32 games with Golden State, and he'll hit that one over to Maria, who will backhand it to stop it and toss it over to Rivas at first for out number one.
And that was a pretty important at-bat right there for Spencer Gallimore, making the opponent work at his pace, switching up the tempo a little bit, going fast, going slow. You can tell the mound presence is really there in this inning.
Yeah, you can see how hard Nishiwa hit that one off the bat over to Murillo at shortstop. You could see Murillo almost like used his glove just to stop the momentum of the ball, pick it up, and then throw it over to first in time. The top of the order now at the plate, Braden Flores. And he'll watch ball one.
And Spencer Gallimore, who's usually so effective against lefties because of the changeup, expect to see a little bit more of that changeup here in the second time through the order.
In the top of the first inning, Flores with a fly out to center field as he sees ball two. Flores, as we mentioned, leading it off in last night's game as well, and he'll hit that one over to the first base side. It'll get through into right field, and that'll be a base hit for Braden Flores. Jacob Freer, the shortstop, now to the plate. Freer, who struck out in his first appearance. Braden Flores stands over at first, a base hit into right field. First pitch low and inside for ball one. Jacob Freer wearing number 4. He played in last night's game, hit third, is now moved up to the 2-hole. Gallimore throws over to Flores at first. Carson Panarisi, we won't see him in the lineup today. He hit second yesterday. Over in left field today is Evan Ryder.
And that was a perfectly located fastball there for Spencer. A little bit off the plate. Miles is able to steal that strike for him. And that's why the pitchers love to throw to Miles Mader.
Miles Mader from the University of Indiana. Throws over, and he got him on the pickoff. Spencer Gallimore throws it over to Sean Rivas at first. Braden Flores seemed to be a little tripped up in his dive back to first, and Sean Rivas will tag him out. The second out here in the top of the third inning.
Yeah, and Addy, I was just about to touch on that as soon as I saw that first pickoff move. Spencer has a couple of pickoff moves he likes to use. First one is a show me. The second one is the one that's going to get you out.
Freer hits that one over to right field. Kosei Suzuki gets under it, and that'll be it for the top of the third inning. Gallimore faces the minimum going into the bottom of the third. Comerford to the plate in the bottom of the third inning. The Blues still trailing 2-1. Gallimore gets out of the top, facing just the minimum with a great pickoff over to first, getting out Braden Flores, who singled. The first pitch to Comerford is swung on and sent over the first base side foul. Comerford hitting in the 3 spot yet again. It's not very surprising over at third base as well. And that'll be called strike 2. Struck out in the bottom of the first inning. Looking to record a hit of the day, and he'll send that one back to center field, but will be caught by Brandon Nguyen for the first out.
Yeah, and if you're Brendan Comerford, you probably sense a little bit of frustration because yet another ball that you put good wood on that just will not fall. Same thing as yesterday when he had a couple of really hard hits that just weren't falling.
Yeah, Comerford was hit by pitch in the third inning yesterday, but other than that, a strikeout, a line out over to the second baseman, and a fly out to right field. That'll bring up Mason Ashlock, the designated hitter. And that'll be called strike 1. Sorry, strike 2. Mason Ashlock, as we mentioned, did not appear in the game last night, but was the designated hitter against the Santa Barbara Foresters when they played on Thursday. He struck out looking in his first at-bat, followed by a single, and was caught stealing, and then a line out over to third base to end out his day. Hills hit that one far down the third base side. That will one hop out of the field. It looks like it hit off the wall and popped up out into the dirt behind left field. A hard hit ball and a double.
And Addy, that ball was walloped.
That was you could see it off the bat. You can see the wind really pumping out to left field, so it's not surprising that we're seeing a lot of balls ride the third base line.
Which again is kind of atypical for games like this. Usually the wind is blowing in, not out.
Diego Murillo now to the plate, a RBI double in his first at-bat. He'll come up with a runner on second. Big swing for strike one. Joe O'Regan on the mound for the Arroyo Seco Saints, his fourth start and fourth appearance. Swung on for strike two. Pitched in 15 innings so far on the season with 12 strikeouts. Last played against the Santa Barbara Foresters a week ago on June 20th. The 0-2 count with one out. Swung on and fouled off the first base side. He'll stay alive in the at-bat. Murillo over at shortstop, just as he was yesterday. Hit in the 5-hole as he is today, and he'll swing and strike out in the bottom of the third inning. That'll be the second out for the Blues. The right fielder, Kosei Suzuki, will step to the plate looking to do something about Mason Ashlock over on second. He flew out to right in his first at-bat. The Blues leading by one, the tying run on second. Kosei Suzuki would be the leading run. 2 outs, and the pitch is low and inside for ball one.
And this is kind of my matchup to watch today is O'Regan versus Suzuki, because oddly enough, weaknesses for both of them. O'Regan struggles against hitters who hit velocity well, and Suzuki struggles against left-handers, so we'll kind of see who cracks first.
Kosei Suzuki will send that one to center field. Brandon Nguyen will step back a little and make the catch. That'll be it for the third inning. The Blues with no runs, one hit. They leave one runner on, Mason Ashlock over on second, and no errors. They'll go into the top of the fourth, trailing 2-1. is 2-1 in the top of the fourth inning. The first to step to the plate will be Zach Late, followed by Cannon King and Owen Mangini. Mangini with the 2-run home run to put the Saints on the board in the top of the second. we will see him to the plate in a little bit. Zach Late, who struck out in his first at bat, he'll see strike one. Spencer Gallimore still on the mound. As Late chops out one over to Rivas at first, he will toss it to Gallimore, who will touch the base, and that'll be out one to the leadoff batter of the inning.
And Addy, Spencer Gallimore, probably one of the more complete pitchers on the roster. As you've seen, he's got the strikeout stuff. He's got the ability to make those dangerous pickoff moves with runners on, as well as fielding his position. Getting over to first base for pitchers is not an easy thing, but that's why they love to work on PFPs here in San Luis.
A very athletic pitcher. It explains why he has been so successful in the pitching rotation for the Blues. The first pitch to Cannon King, low and inside for ball one. Cannon King, who singled in the second and came in on Mangini's two-run homer. One-0 is dropped over the first base side foul. Cannon King, originally from Los Angeles, California, playing out in right field today. The pitch to him is high and outside for ball two.
And this is an important at-bat here for Gallimore to get King, hopefully to get him out here, because you don't want to face Mangini again with a runner on just in case. Obviously, we've seen the home run power that Mangini has.
A called strike two to Cannon King. Currently looking for someplace to call home for the fall. Went to Cal State San Marcos in his freshman season. He'll swing and send that one back to shallow right center. In comes Suzuki, who catches it. Oh, it looks like he does not make the play out in center field. And Cannon King with a perfectly placed ball out to the outfield. That'll be a single. And it's almost as if history is repeating itself. Cannon King stands on first from a single, and Owen Mangini to the plate.
Yeah, no defender at fault really for that play not being made. Kosei made such a hustle play to rush over there from where he's standing in right field. Unfortunately, just missed that by a few inches.
And a great effort by Suzuki out there. Dives for the catch, is unable to make it. You saw Cesar Chavez, the center fielder, coming in. Kosei Suzuki over from right, and Brady Alves from second, and kind of caught them in that little Bermuda Triangle.
The Bermuda Triangle, the famous.
The famous Bermuda Triangle. Chavez picked it up, attempted to throw it over to first to get King out, but the play was not in time. And Owen Mangini, the designated hitter, now at the plate. Pitch is swung on and sent back to Chavez in center field. He'll make the catch. And the home run hitter out in the top of the fourth.
And you got to love that from Spencer Gallimore right there, not afraid of Owen Mangini, even though he had just given up a home run to him. Going right after him. The first pitch, a high fastball that he swung and missed at, came right back at him with the second pitch, and then the third pitch, again, came right at him.
It's important, especially for the the starting pitcher, to kind of be able to remain calm in those kind of situations. We need Gallimore to be able to produce for at least another inning, maybe even two. So important for him to be able to kind of take that back from Mangini. And to the plate now is Sean Asperger. He'll hit that one hard down the right side over to Kosei Suzuki. And that'll be a base hit. Cannon King will move over to second.
Yeah, another pitch that just caught too much of the plate right there.
That'll be two hits in the top of the fourth inning. And Brandon Nguyen will come up with 2 outs, 1 runner in scoring position, another on first. Nguyen, who's out in center field today. He's been seeing a little bit of action. 2 flyouts in the bottom of the third. The count is 0-1. The pitch is swung on and sent to the right side. Suzuki going back, he'll make the catch, and that'll be it for the top of the 4th inning. No runs scored, no errors, 2 hits and 2 runners left on base. The Blues will go into the bottom of the 4th, trailing 2-1. Leading it off in the bottom of the fourth inning, the first baseman, Sean Rivas. The Blues scoring their only run in the bottom of the first from leadoff batter Cesar Chavez. 2 more runners in scoring position, and Rivas will send that one up the middle. Great effort by the shortstop Jacob Freer, but it will not be in time. And Sean Rivas with his first hit of the day.
And Addy, as I've told you and maybe the audience before, Sean Rivas, not your typical JUCO player. Yes, he goes to Cuesta College, but he is feared in that batter's box. I always think back to the Walnut Creek game. He faced a D1 pitcher, and the first pitch that he saw whacked it to the right center field wall, 90 miles an hour.
He's a big dude for sure. It's kind of fun to always see him in the lineup, to be honest. Now at the plate is Dom Nahar, who doubled in the second and made his way over to third after an error got Cesar Chavez on base. The only time the Blues have had a runner on third today. The last time they had a runner in scoring position was Mason Ashlock in the bottom of the third. A double put him on second and wasn't able to make it around. The count is 2-1 to Dom Nahar. Nahar, in my opinion, another one of those sneaky players that you don't always have to be super uber aware of, but will get the job done. We saw him do that a couple of days ago against the Merchants on Wednesday.
Yeah, Dom Nahar, not one of those guys that really does anything poorly.
Yeah.
A jack of all trades, if you will.
The count 2-2 to Nahar. He'll hit that one over to the shortstop, who will toss it to second and over to first. It will not be in time to first, but they will get the leadoff runner, Sean Rivas, at second.
you're essentially just swapping Sean Rivas for Dom Nahar with one out right there. Look out for Dom Nahar to maybe take off. The first thing he said to us this summer, I want to lead the CCL in stolen bases.
Brady Alves is now at the plate. He struck out swinging in the bottom of the second inning. Dom Nahar over on first. He'll hit that one hard over to the left side and will be caught by Evan Ryder. And Nahar will stay over at first. That'll be 2 outs with Cesar Chavez, the leadoff batter, up to the plate.
And Alves probably one of his harder hit balls that you've seen this summer, but unfortunately it's just been one of those years where nothing has fallen for Brady.
Cesar Chavez, who singled in the first and then reached on an error in the second. He'll come up to the plate looking to do something about Dom Nahar over on first. Dom Nahar takes off for second. The tag will not be in time, and that will be another stolen base for Dom Nahar on the season.
Yeah, and he really did not get a great jump on that. It was almost like a delayed steal a little bit.
That'll be Nahar's second stolen base on the season. And the count is 1-0 to Cesar Chavez. That'll be outside for ball 2. O'Regan, the left-handed pitcher, on the mound in his 4th inning. The count is 2-0. And that'll be 3 straight balls to Cesar Chavez. Chavez, who's reached base on both of his at-bats so far. Dom Nahar in scoring position. The 3-0 pitch is low and outside. Cesar Chavez will draw a walk with 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Not exactly the worst thing in the world. I mean, first base is open. Would you rather face Cesar Chavez or Miles Mader? Probably Chavez, but it's really not the worst thing in the world for O'Regan to walk Chavez there.
The catcher, Nick Nashiwa, will go and meet his pitcher on the mound as Miles Mader, the Hoosier, will come to the plate.
Number 48, the catcher,
Miles Mader, who singled in the first and flew out in the second.
And Miles Mader, by his standards at least, hitting a little bit of a cold spell the last couple of games, was one of the first ones in the cage the past 2 days, knowing that, working on his swing. That's why he got the day off yesterday, looking to see if it pays off in a big moment here.
Miles Mader in his 15th game on the season with the Blues. The first pitch to him will be swung on for strike 1. He's hitting .352. Hitting .352 on the season, 2 home runs with 15 RBIs in the squat today after a nice break yesterday. He'll hit that one over to the left side. The third baseman will field it and send it over to second. And that'll be it for the bottom of the 4th inning. The Blues trail the Saints 2-1 and will head into the top of the 5th inning when we get back. still trail 2-1. The Saints at the plate. Evan Ryder will lead it off, the left fielder. He's hitting in the 8th spot today, and he'll face Spencer Gallimore for the 2nd time today. The first pitch a called strike. Ryder, who flew out to right field in his first at-bat. Gallimore with just 3 strikeouts on the day. That ball will be hit up the line. The second baseman, Brady Alves, will make the play, and it will not be in time. Evan Ryder with a base hit to lead it off in the top of the 5th inning.
Good effort there by Brady Alves. Unfortunately, sometimes you're just not going to catch the guy that's busting it down the line as soon as he hits that ball out of the box.
Well, and awkward positioning for Brady Alves. He's coming in on it, heading towards third, and has to rotate his body to try to make that play over at first.
Physics does not like that play.
Physics does not like that play. Nick Nishiwa, the catcher, now at the plate. A strike 1 to lead off the at-bat. Nishiwa grounded out to shortstop in his first plate appearance. He'll come to the plate with Ryder on first. A much different game compared to how yesterday started off. The Blues went hitless through the first 5 innings. It wasn't until Dylan Immel broke that up in the top of the 6th. Now the Arroyo Seco Saints with 6 hits already in the top of the 5th inning. The count is 1-1. Evan Ryder on first base.
Yeah, and you can see Evan Ryder not really interested in taking a lead off Spencer Gallimore. He kind of just crawled back to first base on that pickoff move.
Gallimore, who got out Flores on a pickoff, and Nick Nishiwa will send that one right up the center of the field for a base hit. A runner now in scoring position for the Saints. What I've noticed, at least so far, for the Saints is they've been able to string together a couple of hits. They've had multiple base runners in the last few innings. Obviously, there are 2 runs being scored off of a homer from Owen Mangini. But able to kind of capitalize on base runners compared to last night's game. A called strike 1 to lead off the count to the number 1 batter, Braden Flores. Flores, who singled in the 3rd, but then was picked off by Gallimore. Runners on first and second. There are no outs in the top of the 5th. Big swing from Flores over to right. That will drop in for a base hit. And quickly the bases are loaded. 3 singles strung together, and Evan Ryder will stand on third, Nick Nishiwa on second, and Braden Flores over on first.
And none of them particularly hard contact either, but unfortunately, as is the way with baseball, if it finds a hole, it's a hit, regardless of how hard it's going to be.
And that's what we've seen, really, as you mentioned, with every single one of these hits. They've just found exactly where a Blues player is not. And that'll prompt Dean Traynor out to the mound. His first visit to Spencer Gallimore.
It looks like Dean Traynor is probably just buying some time for Charlie Ferris, who's getting hot in the bullpen as soon as he can.
The bases are loaded in the top of the 5th inning with no outs. Stepping to the plate will be Jacob Freer. 3 singles strung together for the Saints. Already with 8 hits on the day compared to the Blues 6, and they lead 2-1.
excuse me, that's actually Troy Cooper, Cal Poly, warming up in the bullpen.
A check swing, does he go? He does not. That will be ball 1. Jacob Freer, a strikeout and fly out on the day. The middle infield, sorry, the corner infielders on the infield grass. Sean Rivas at first, Brendan Comerford on third. The count is 2-0 with no outs. And that'll be a called timeout. Jacob Freer, the shortstop, hitting in the 2-hole today. The pitch is swung on for strike 1.
Obviously a less than ideal spot to be in here, Addy, but he's really got to go after him. You don't want to face light King Mangini with the bases loaded and no outs.
No, you do not. Jacob Freer hitting .304 on the season. It's his 13th game with the Saints. The 2-1 pitch is swung on over the third base side, foul. That'll be strike 2. A strikeout would be huge for Gallimore in this situation, especially with the number 3 and 4 batter. And Owen Mangini looming over in the dugout. On first is Braden Flores, on second Nick Nishiwa, and third Evan Ryder, all on from perfectly placed singles, and the pitch is in the dirt. Mater will keep it in front of him. And the count runs full. The fans yelling for hot sauce, hoping to see a strikeout here. The Saints already leading 2-1 with the bases loaded and no outs.
Ultimate high leverage payoff pitch here.
The 3-2 pitch is swung on, and that'll be called foul. He'll stay alive in the at-bat. Warming up is Troy Cooper. Gallimore in his 5th inning with no outs. The count is 3-2 to Jacob Freer. The pitch is swung on, a huge strikeout for Spencer Gallimore with the bases loaded, the first out of the 5th. Jacob Freer going down by way of the K.
And Addy, if pressure actually did make diamonds, as the rumor is, Spencer Gallimore would be the brightest diamond of them all.
What a way to get out of that. It's something that I admire so deeply about the Blues pitching staff. It's not necessarily the amount of strikeouts they have, how efficient they can be on the mound, but it's when they get into situations similar to these and are able to work themselves out of it. The first pitch to Zach Light, a strike 1. Zach Light, a strikeout and ground out on the day. The base is still loaded. A ball that missed just outside. Zach Light over at first today. Hitting .250 with 6 RBIs over 8 games. He'll hit that one through the gap out into left field. Coming around is Evan Ryder. Nick Nishiwa follows him, and that is a 2 RBI single for Zach Light.
And that play at the plate was really close. Honestly, a lot of really close calls there. That ball just barely got past the outstretched glove of Brendan Comerford. Dom Nahar made a perfect throw home. Unfortunately, the runner coming around third was just too close to the plate for Mater to be able to make that tag on time.
Well, it's kind of what we were talking about with the other 3 singles that we saw so far in this inning. They're just perfectly placed.
Perfectly placed.
Brendan Comerford, huge effort over there on third, just gets right past him. Nothing he can really do about that there. Just a great base hit for Zach Lade. It looks like that'll be it for Spencer Gallimore. Troy Cooper steps to the mound, and we will have that when we get back. Cooper on the mound for the Blues. He comes in for Spencer Gallimore, who pitches until the first out in the top of the 5th inning. It'll be Cooper's second appearance with the Blues on the season. A Mustang from Cal Poly. He's staying local for the summer. He pitched actually earlier this week on Wednesday against the Alameda Merchants. He pitched 2 innings after coming in for former Mustang Quincy Winkler. He faced 8 batters with 1 strikeout, 2 walks, and 1 hit, no runs scored. And he will face Cannon King. He'll inherit 2 base runners. Zach Late over at first and Braden Flores on third. Late, who scored Evan Reeder and Nick Nishiwa right before Troy Cooper came in to pitch. A 2-run RBI single.
And Troy Cooper, a much different pitcher than Spencer Gallimore. Gallimore, a little more finesse. Troy Cooper, I'm going to blow you away.
Swung on for strike number 2. Cannon King, who singled in both of his at-bats so far today. Quickly behind in the count. Runners on the corners. 1 out in the top of the 5th. Off goes Late as King pops that one up to the shortstop, and Diego Murillo flies it back over to Sean Rivas at first to get out late, who unfortunately was going on that hit. And that'll be it for the top of the 5th inning. The Arroyo Seco Saints leave 1 runner on, no errors on 4 hits and 2 runs scored. The Blues still trail now 4-1 going into the bottom of the 5th, and we'll have it here on the Blues Streaming Network when we get back. Trail 4-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Saints scoring 2 off of an RBI single from Zach Light in the top of the 5th. Brendan Comerford will lead it off here. The first pitch is swung on right back at the pitcher and into center field for a base hit, the first of the day for Comerford.
And that one's got to feel good. That was one of those balls that was smoked really hard up the middle. Finally found a place where somebody wasn't standing for Brendan Comerford.
Comerford, who struck out and flew out in his first 2 at-bats, will now stand over on first. Mason Ashlock, the designated hitter, will step to the plate.
Here's number 41, Mason.
He doubled in his last at-bat and was left on. The Blues unable to capitalize. He'll hit the first pitch. It'll stay in the field. The first baseman, Zach Light, will make the catch. 1 pitch, 1 swing, 1 out for Mason Ashlock.
Yeah, not the approach you're probably looking for there if you're Mason Ashlock after seeing Brendan Comerford start off the inning with a hard hit single to look for a curveball that you foul out to the first baseman. Probably something he wishes he had back.
Up to the plate now is Diego Murillo. Murillo, who also doubled on the day in his first at-bat and then struck out in his second. They're a little flip-flopped there. He'll come to the plate with an out and a runner on first. The first pitch, a ball. Arroyo over at short today. He's really settled in over on that side of the field after playing second for quite some time. He'll sail that one into center field, and Nguyen will make the catch. That is 2 quick outs here in the 5th. Comerford still stands over on first.
A little surprising that Comerford hasn't taken off. He is second in the CCL in stolen bases. Haven't really seen him take off in quite a while, though.
Unfortunately, with Ashlock swinging on that first pitch and then Murillo only seeing 1 before sending it out to center, haven't really given him the chance, really, but we probably would have seen him if those 2 batters had gone a little deeper in the counts. The first pitch fouled off for strike 1. Kosei Suzuki, who flew out twice, once to right and then the other to center, now at the plate. Pitch is upstairs for ball 1. Suzuki, originally from Japan, spent his high school years in Australia, in Sydney, Australia. I was so offended when he, wait, no, Adelaide, Australia.
Adelaide,
I
Australia.
remember because I was so excited because that's my full name.
Is it? Oh, yes.
And he
you're
told
Adelaide.
me he did not like it.
He didn't like
He
Adelaide.
did not like Adelaide. 3 balls and 1 strike from to Kosei Suzuki. Joe O'Rogan still on the mound for the Saints. Brendan Comerford still over at first base. A pretty big lead, and Suzuki will draw a walk. The Blues with 2 runners on, and Sean Rivas stepping to the plate.
Do you think Kosei Suzuki is the closest thing we have to Mr. Worldwide?
Yes.
Born in Japan, high school in Australia,
Yes.
playing college and amateur ball in the U.S.
Well, we don't have any other international players, I don't believe.
We do not. He's
So-
the closest thing to Mr. Worldwide we have.
The closest thing to Mr. Worldwide. There was a player from Prague
There
on the
was.
Merchants.
There was. I do remember
That was cool.
him.
First pitch to Sean Rivas, a called strike. He steps to the plate with 2 outs and 2 runners on. Brendan Comerford now over at second, and Kosei Suzuki stands on first. Sean Rivas, who singled in his last at-bat. And that'll be 0-2 to Rivas with 2 outs. Joe O'Rogan, who has been quite effective on the mound for the Saints. I know this was kind of their #1 guy. Big lead from Comerford over on second, dancing. And that'll be swung on for strike number 3 in the 3rd out in the bottom of the 5th inning. The Blues leave 2 runners on, no errors, no runs scored on 1 hit. They still trail 4-1. Troy Cooper back to the mound. We'll see him in the top of the 6th when we get back. Troy Cooper is still on the mound for the Blues in the top of the 6th inning. The players clearing off the tennis ball toss. A fun little promotion they do going into the 6th inning. It's actually way harder than it may sound to Tennis ball bucket goes in right behind home plate, and fans can purchase a tennis ball for $1 and try to throw it into the bucket. I have not seen one yet so far in the season. I think it's very rare, few and far between, but if you do make it in the bucket, you get season tickets, and whoever gets closest wins a prize. So that's what you just saw being cleared off of the field, but now warming up is Troy Cooper. As I mentioned, a Mustang from Cal Poly SLO. He has spent his first 2 seasons there. In the 2026 season, appeared in 16 games, including once against West Virginia in the Super Regional a couple of weeks ago. A huge feat for Cal Poly, the first time they'd made it to a Super Regional after winning the UCLA Regional.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. How did that go?
The Super Regional?
Yeah, I didn't catch any of it. How did it go?
You know,
as a UC Santa Barbara student, I'm just very curious because we didn't make the Super Regional.
It was very exciting to watch them play.
Okay.
And we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
The count is 0-1. Troy Cooper ahead here against Owen Mangini. Mangini, who flew out to center field in his last at-bat, but is decorated with that 2-run homer in the second. The Saints lead 4-1. The count now 1-2. Troy Cooper, as I mentioned, 16 appearances in this last season. He pitched 21 2/3 innings with 11 walks and 18 strikeouts, an ERA of 4.98. Ball is low and outside for a 2-2 count. Just the second time Troy Cooper has stepped to the mound for the Blues. He was telling me yesterday that he was ready to get back out there. The 2-2 is swung on, and that'll be a strikeout for the leadoff batter of the inning, Owen Mangini.
And it's probably so tough for the Arroyo Seco Saints to kind of have to make, on a whim, an adjustment after facing Spencer Gallimore, whose fastball typically tops 87, changeup at around like 80, 81, but with good break, versus Troy Cooper, who can top it out at about 95 miles an hour. That's a huge adjustment to have to make mid-game.
Well, and it's strategic thinking by the coaching staff to be able to bring in such a different pitcher, especially in a game where the Saints are leading 4-1. And we, could see especially where they pulled Spencer Gallimore in the 5th. He'd already let up 3 hits at that point, and 2 runs had scored. So to bring in someone like Troy Cooper to finish out that inning was important to kind of end that scoring streak for the Saints. The count is 1-1 to Sean Asperger. Asperger, who's reached base in his last 2 at-bats. He walked in the second and singled in the 4th. He'll hit that one, and it'll fall foul. A huge effort by Sean Rivas over there at first, diving over the line, trying to make the catch. Thankfully, it went foul, and that'll be strike 2.
Thankful for the wind on that one.
Thankful for the wind on that one, you're right. Asperger, the 3rd baseman today. He played in the game last night as the designated hitter. Recorded a hit in the 9th, and it was 1 of 2 runs scored. The count 1-2. The pitch is swung on, and that is back-to-back Ks for Troy Cooper.
It was a disgusting pitch right there to a left-handed hitter. He had absolutely no chance at making contact with that.
Brandon Nguyen now to the plate. Nguyen, who's yet to reach base today, he'll come up with 2 outs after 2 strikeouts from Troy Cooper. The pitch to Nguyen is high for ball 1. Runners have reached base for the Saints in every inning besides the first so far on the game. They have 9 hits with 4 runs. Brandon Nguyen ahead of the count, 2-0. Out in center field today. And that'll be called strike 1. Brandon Nguyen from Arcadia, California. He wears number 13 today. The 2-1 is swung on for strike 2. Great pitch from Troy Cooper, and the count is even. The deuces are wild. It is 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Love to see him go after him with a fastball here just to put him away.
Brandon Nguyen, the 2-2 is swung on and sent to Diego Murillo over at shortstop, and that will be it for the 6th inning. What an inning for Troy Cooper. Back-to-back strikeouts and a pop out to Diego Murillo over at shortstop to finish it off. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Nahar, who doubled in his first plate appearance and made his way all the way to 3rd. We'll see him now lay down a bunt. It'll fall foul for strike 1.
The Blues looking for any way to generate some offense against Joe
O'Regan, who started the game for the Saints going into the bottom of the 6th inning. He's been fairly effective on the mound so far. The 0-1 pitch is way up high. Dom Nahar, who recently committed to Cal State East Bay. One and two to the leadoff batter of the inning. The pitch is outside for ball 2.
You have to imagine the Blues are looking to work the count in this inning here. O'Regan at 85 pitches here through the 5 innings that he's pitched.
Swung on and sent the third base side. It'll fall foul, and he will stay alive in the at-bat. Joe O'Regan with a 2-2 count. The pitch. Upstairs, does he go? He does not, and the count is full. O'Regan in his 4th game in a Saints uniform.
And yet, strangely enough, no action whatsoever in the Arroyo Seco bullpen. All the relievers just sitting on buckets watching the game.
Nahar will hit that one to the center field, and a diving play by Brandon Nguyen for the out. Fell hard making that catch, but laid it out nevertheless, and Brady Alves will come to the plate with 1 out.
Yeah, such a strange play for Nguyen to have to make. I mean, coming in on a ball, you're kind of stuck in between, do I dive, do I not dive at the end? And obviously he chose to dive, fell to the ground pretty hard there in order to make the catch.
Kind of hard to tell as well when you're coming in that hard, especially seeing Braden Flores over at second and Jacob Freer also kind of coming in for that ball, not wanting to collide with each other. Obviously some good communication out there for Nguyen to make the catch. Alves fouls that one off the third base side. The count is 0-2.
Looking to reverse the trend here for Brady Alves when he's in an 0-2 count, 0 hits so far this year with a strikeout rate of 76%.
Alves, who struck out in his first at-bat, will do it again here in the 6th inning. Another strikeout for Brady Alves. And with 2 outs, the top of the order will step to the plate. Alves has been the 2nd out in every plate appearance so far today, which brings up Cesar Chavez nevertheless, who has reached base in all 3 of his at-bats so far. He'll hit that one high to right field. Cannon King will get under it, and that'll be it for the bottom of the 6th inning. The Saints face the minimum. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base, and we'll take you into the top of the 7th when we get back. step to the mound in the top of the 7th inning. He'll come in for Troy Cooper. And he will face Evan Ryder for his first appearance on the mound today. Ferris wearing 46, originally from Canyon Lake, Texas. A right-handed senior from Stephen S. Austin. The Saints still lead 4-1. Big swing from Ryder for strike one. The 0-1 to the left fielder is swung on and hit right back up to Ferris. It knocks off of his foot. Brennan Comerford will field it, but there will be no play at first, and Evan Ryder with a single to start it off in the 7th.
It's just been that kind of game, Addy. I mean, the ball literally kicks off Charlie Ferris's foot. Brendan Comerford has no play on it, and Ryder has an easy single.
Nick Nishiwa to the plate, the catcher hitting in the 9 spot today. And he'll face Charlie Ferris for the first time. A single in the 5th was eventually brought around for the 4th run scored. He'll hit that one right back up to Ferris. It looks like that might have hit right off of the base, and round goes Evan Ryder to third, the ball all the way to Chavez in center field. A base hit for Nick Nishiwa. In the 5th inning, when Ryder last led off, he singled, and right behind him was Nick Nishiwa, who singled as well. And if history will repeat itself, Braden Flores will also single. 2 balls hit right back up to Ferris. It didn't seem like either of them were particularly hard hit balls, but it's not always easy for a pitcher to see 2 come right back at him. Kind of shakes up the mentality a little bit. He'll have runners on the corners. A strike one to Braden Flores, the leadoff batter who has reached base by singles in his last 2 at-bats. Ferris from Stephen S. Austin in this last season appeared 16 times, and off goes Nishiwa as that ball is up into the left field side, and wow, it's like I called it. Evan Ryder will score, and Braden Flores with an RBI single. Over on second is Nick Nishiwa, who was taking off, so got a good hop to get to second base, although he would have had plenty of time either way. Jacob Freer will now come to the plate with no outs and 2 runners on base. The pitch to Freer will be inside for ball 1. One ball, no strikes, no outs in the top of the 7th inning. That'll be strike 1 from Charlie Ferris. 1 ball, 1 strike, no outs in the 7th. The Saints already having scored 1, and 2 more runners on, 1 on first and the other on second. Braden Flores watching Nick Nishiwa, and that'll be strike 2.
It's a really good pitch by Charlie Ferris there. I mean, to no fault of his own, has already given up a run. and 3 base runners in this inning, but again, roughly 0 hard contact has been made with him this inning.
It's kind of, as we've been saying this whole game, the Saints have just been able to place all of their hits where the Blues just aren't. A hard hit ball by Flores, which scored Evan Ryder, and that looked to be a double steal, but Jacob Freer will hit that one to the right side. A big throw from Suzuki over to third base, and he will be safe. And Nick Nishiwa will come in to score. The Saints have scored 2 in the top of the 7th inning and 4 singles from the first 4 batters. Big effort from Alves over on second, but wasn't able to make the play, and that ball trickling into right field. Another huge effort by Suzuki over in right field, trying to catch Braden Flores going for third, and we actually saw Suzuki make that play earlier on in the game to Sean Asperger. It was in the second. He made a huge throw all the way to third base, and Brendan Comerford was able to tag out Asperger, but unable to do it again here in the 7th. At the plate is Zach Late. Ferris will throw it over to first. There will be no play made. On first is Jacob Freer. On third, Braden Flores, both on from singles. Evan Ryder and Nick Nishiwa have already come in for the Saints in the inning. That'll be strike 1 to Zach Late. The count is 1-1. There are no outs in the top of the 7th inning. Throw over to first will not be in time. This is Charlie Ferris's second appearance with the Blues. The first coming from the Alameda Merchants on Wednesday. Went 2 innings, faced 8 batters with 2 strikeouts, 2 hits, no walks, and no runs scored. That ball will go over to the second baseman, who will toss it to shortstop and over to first. It'll be a double play. Brady Alves over at second, tossing it to Diego Murillo to get out Jacob Freer, and then over to first to get Zach Late. And that'll be the 2 outs in the 7th. Braden Flores comes around from third to score. It'll be 3 runs now here in the 7th, and Cannon King to the plate with no runners on and 2 outs. He'll hit that one back over to Alves, who will field it and toss it to Rivas at first. And that'll be it for the top half of the 7th inning. The Saints score 3 off of 4 hits. There are no runners left on base, no errors. And we will stretch it out here at Sinsheimer and take you into the bottom of the 7th. The score, 7-1 Saints. Mater will come to the plate in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blues trail 7-1, a very different game than what we saw yesterday. The Saints offense has just been on fire, and Joe O'Rogan will continue pitching here in the 7th. We can see someone warming up in the bullpen for the Saints. O'Rogan, who started this game already in his 7th. He's been quite effective, but is definitely getting up there in his pitch count.
Yeah, I mean, he started off the game pretty rough, pretty inefficient at the beginning, but I mean, right now he's still at 94 pitches, and they really trust him, and he still looks good out there, throwing 2 straight curveballs for strikes against Miles Mater.
Mater behind in the count, 0-2, the leadoff batter of the inning. That ball will be high and outside. Mater, who singled in the 1st and flew out in the 2nd. He'll swing and miss for strike 3, the first out of the the bottom of the 7th inning. And Brendan Comerford will step to the plate.
And this really is not normal for summer ball. He's at 96 pitches. They're really riding Joe O'Rogan right now.
The first time that the Saints have even had a pitcher begin to warm up so far in the game. For a while, we were just seeing some of the ball players kind of sit out there watching the game, and now someone is up and throwing.
They do have Hudson Carvalho, University of Oregon, warming up in the bullpen at the moment.
1 ball and 1 strike to Brendan Comerford, the 3rd baseman, wearing number 2. Singled in his last at-bat. Was left on base, getting as far as 2nd. That'll be 3 straight balls to Comerford. The pitch from O'Rogan, and Comerford will draw a 4-pitch walk.
And that's the kind of at-bat that you need right now, down by 6 runs. Again, this is a scenario where any swing that you make, you're not going to get it back in 1. So it's best to work the pitch count of the guy who is now at 100 pitches on the day.
That's crazy. 100 pitches, just 3 walks, including the one we just saw to Comerford. Mason Ashlock, the designated hitter, will now step to the plate. He will hit that one hard to the 2nd baseman. It'll reflect off of the glove of Flores and head into center field. Brendan Comerford will get all the way around to 3rd, and Mason Ashlock to 1st.
Incredible base running by a high IQ player, Brendan Comerford there. I mean, he never stopped running. That ball went off the 2nd baseman's glove into center field. He immediately booked it to 3rd base.
That'll be a base hit for Mason Ashlock. A hard hit ball to the 2nd baseman, Braden Flores. And the Blues now have runners on the corners for the shortstop, Diego Murillo. Murillo with a huge double in the 1st that brought in the only run for the Blues on the game, Cesar Chavez. 1 ball and no strikes to Murillo. He will slowly swing it around. You can see he regretted the effort he put into that swing, but it'll be strike 1. And big strike number 2 to Murillo. The count 1-2 to the shortstop, who struck out, flew out, and doubled on the day so far. 1 out here in the 7th. Big swing from Murillo far into center field. That ball will go way over the head of Brandon Nguyen. In comes Brendan Comerford. Coming around is Mason Ashlock. The throw home will not be in time, and the Blues score 2 runs in the 7th. A 2-run RBI double from Diego Murillo.
You kind of have to wonder what sort of shift the Arroyo Seco Saints were playing on that play. The center fielder was playing in, and Diego Murillo can get it easily over the center fielder's head any given moment.
Brandon Nguyen stood no chance in making that play. You saw him immediately turn around and book it back, but that ball just caught the wind and kept going. That looks like it'll be it for Joe O'Rogan. We'll let you know who will come to the mound when we get back. Carvalho to the mound for the Saints. The second pitcher to appear in the game, Joe O'Rogan, went 7 1/3 after Comerford and Ashlock came on a double from Murillo. They'll bring in Hudson Carvalho, a Duck from the University of Oregon. He will face Kosei Suzuki in his first appearance on the mound.
And at least from what he's thrown this summer so far, Addy, a 2-pitch pitcher, fastball and curveball, but from relievers, you really only want them to master 1 or 2 pitches anyways.
Carvalho going into his sophomore year in the fall. Appeared in 4 games at Oregon State over 1 2/3 innings. 8 walks with 1 strikeout. An ERA of 37.80.
You can't really knock college ERAs too much, Addy. Blues legend Ryan Featherston from last year ended the season with a 0.32 ERA here in San Luis, despite a suboptimal ERA during the regular season.
That'll be strike 2 to Kosei Suzuki. That's kind of the fun part about summer ball, in my opinion, is you get players from all over. You never really know how they're going to match up with others. Kosei Suzuki coming all the way from LaSalle in Pennsylvania. He'll face a duck from the University of Oregon. He'll hit that one high to the second baseman, who will field it for out 2.
And here's the thing that I really love most about summer ball, because as you said, people from different backgrounds battling each other. Where else are you going to see a Cuesta College Cougar coming to the plate against the University of Oregon right-hander? Only in the CCO.
Only in the CCO will you see that. Sean Rivas to the plate. He'll come up with 1 runner on second, Diego Murillo, and 2 outs. He'll face Carvalho, the second batter he's seen, and he'll serve up strike 1.
And he's got command of that curveball right now. He's throwing it wherever he wants for strikes.
The Blues have scored 2 more off of an RBI double from Diego Murillo, who now stands on second. Big swing from Rivas for strike 2. The Blues are chasing 4, 3 runs with 9 hits compared to a Saints 7 runs on 13 hits. Sean Rivas over at first today, filling in for CJ Moran. The 0-2 pitch is outside. It looked like Carvalho thought that was going to be a called strike 3. He began walking off the mound towards the dugout.
This is not the umpire to try that with, I can tell you. This is one that you do not want to try that with. He will not call that a strike if you do that.
A 1-2 count. The pitch to Rivas is hit to the third baseman, who will field it and toss it over to first. It'll be way off the bag, but he will make the tag to Rivas, and that'll be the 3rd out in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Blues leave 1 runner on. They score 2 off of 2 hits, no errors, and they now trail 7-3 going into the top of the 8th. On the mound for the Blues in the top of the 8th inning. He'll be the 3rd pitcher to come to the mound. in the game today. Sorry, make that the fourth. With the fourth pitcher to come to the mound today, he will face the designated hitter Owen Mangini in his first inning. Savino last appeared on the mound for the Blues on Wednesday against the Merchants. He pitched 1 inning with 1 hit and 1 strikeout. The first pitch to the designated hitter is swung on for strike number 1. The Blues with a little comeback in the bottom of the 7th. They scored 2 runs off of a 2 RBI double from Diego Murillo. The score now 7-3. The count is 0-2 to Mangini. The pitch is swung on. The bat is broken, sent to shortstop, but the second baseman, Brady Alves, will make the catch. The bat broke on contact, and part of it flew all the way over to the shortstop position. Thankfully, Diego Murillo shifting over as the ball was sent to the second baseman.
Collecting firewood out there, Addy. That's what they like to say.
Sean Asperger now to the plate with 1 out in the 8th. The pitch from Savino swung on and fouled back for strike 1. Savino, a Cougar at Cuesta Community College, in this last season appeared in 17 games with 7 starts, 3 wins, and 2 losses. 44 2/3 innings pitched. 42 strikeouts on 29 walks. Count 1-1 to Sean Asperger, who walked in his first at-bat, stole second, and then was thrown out all the way from Kosei Suzuki in right to Brendan Comerford at third. He then singled in the 4th and struck out in the 6th. The count is 1-2. Zach Savino now on the mound. The pitch swung on and sent to Chavez in center field. He'll come in and make the catch. That is 2 outs now in the top of the 8th inning.
And you like the efficiency from Zach Savino here, actually going after hitters, getting in the strike zone. That's been his biggest trouble, as he's been saying all summer long, and he's probably building some confidence right now getting in the zone.
He'll face Brandon Nguyen next. 2 outs from the first 2 batters he's faced in the inning. The first pitch called strike. Savino comes in for Charlie Ferris in the 8th. 0-1 in the dirt. Savino from Atascadero, staying local for summer ball. The count is 2-1 to Nguyen. The center fielder, did he go? He did not. It is 3 balls and 1 strike. Nguyen, who played yesterday with just 1 hit on the day, coming in the 9th inning, and that'll be a called strike 2. The count is full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the 8th. The pitch from Savino is shot down the right field line, but it'll fall foul into the Blues bullpen, and Nguyen will stay alive in the at-bat. The 3-2 pitch from Savino swung on and sent back into the grass. over the third base side, and Nguyen will fight that one off as well.
Yet another free foul ball.
Another free foul ball.
I want to sponsor one of the free foul balls one of these days.
Just one.
I just will like 1 innings worth. I want them to say this free foul ball sponsored by Vincent Regalado.
Wow, that's an aspiration. That ball hit hard over to Rivas. A great stop by the first baseman. He will take it himself to first. And that'll be it for the top of the 8th inning. The Blues face just the minimum. No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base. Heading into the bottom of the 8th inning, the Blues still trail 7-3. Comes in the top. He faced just the minimum. The Blues still trailing by 4 runs. Dom Nahar will face Hudson Corvala for the first time today. The Duck from the University of Oregon. I've been to the University of Oregon once.
Have you?
Absolutely beautiful stadium. Super, super nice. It was so cool. That ball swung on from Nahar over to the shortstop, who read it a little wrong, but he'll make the throw to first in time, and that'll be out number 1. Brady Alves now to the plate. He is hitless so far on the day. 2 Ks and a fly out. He's been the second out every time he's come to the plate, hoping to break that cycle here in the 8th. As I was saying, the University of Oregon, a really sick stadium. Very easy to hit it out of, though, which is very contrasting to Sinsheimer here. But very fun ballpark to have watched a regional in.
Very loud ballpark.
Very loud ballpark. Alves sees ball 1. Second pitch is low and outside for ball 2. Brady Alves over at second today.
This is one thing that Brady does very well is see curveballs. He doesn't really like to swing at them. He can tell generally if they're strikes or not, so he does a good job of drawing walks when he can against curveball heavy pitchers.
Alves will foul that one off to the backstop for strike 1. Carvalho just the second pitcher to the mound for the Saints today. Joe O'Rogan went 6 1/3. That ball will be fair. Brady Alves will go for second. A ball hit up the line. And he will be thrown out over at second base. A great hit over the down the third base side. It just falls fair, but thrown out by Evan Ryder over in left field.
And you really have to feel for Brady Alves there, Addy. To be able to get a hit off of an accomplished pitcher from the University of Oregon, but to get thrown out at second. It brings his batting average up, but he doesn't get to run the bases. You really do have to feel for him after that.
And such a great hit at that as well. I mean, right really down the third base line out into the outfield. It was very well placed by Alves, but just unable to stay on the pads, and that'll bring up Cesar Chavez. Count is 1-1 to the number 1 batter. He'll face Hudson Carvalho for the first time today as he sees strike 2. The count 1-2 with 2 outs. The third batter to the plate in the 8th inning. Pitch gets away from the catcher, Nishiwa. The deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The center fielder at the plate. The pitch. And the count will run full. Cesar Chavez, who walked in the 4th inning, looking to extend this inning with 2 outs. He'll hit that one right back at Hudson Carvalho, who will pick it up and throw it over to first. That'll be it for the 8th. Carvalho faces the minimum. The Blues go down without bringing a run around. They still trail 7-3. Leads it off in the top of the 9th inning. A game that's been going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes. Zach Savino will stay on the mound looking to close it out for the Blues. They trail 7-3. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, the Saints face just the minimum. No damage done, even with a hard hit ball by Alves up the third baseline. He's caught going for second and unable to get there in time. He's thrown out by the left fielder, Evan Wright, who is actually at the plate.
Hard hit ball by Cesar Chavez too, to go off of Carvalho's back. Unfortunately, Wright just ricocheted right off of him.
Yeah, he was able to stay composed and make the play over to first base. The count is even, 2 balls, 2 strikes to the leadoff batter of the inning. The pitch, a called ball, and the count runs full. Fans yelling for their hot sauce. The pitch to right is hit into center field. Cesar Chavez will move over a little to the left and make the catch for out number 1 here in the top of the 9th inning.
Yeah, you have to build some confidence here going into the bottom of the 9th inning. I mean, it's not every day you put 10 hits on the board and only score 3 runs. The Blues hopefully looking to build some momentum for the bottom half here.
They just haven't been able to capitalize when they have base runners on and string together enough hits. It's kind of been a little bit more sporadic than I'm sure that they'd appreciate, especially starting off so strong. I mean, they score the first run of the game, and they do it in the bottom of the first inning. Cesar Chavez comes in after singling, and Diego Murillo with the RBI double that brings him in, and just unable to make anything happen offensively until the 7th inning, where they score 2 more. And that ball by Nishima will be hit over the first base side, and that'll be caught by Sean Rivas for out number 2. 2 quick outs here on the top of the 9th inning.
And to your point, Addy, you're right. It really has just been the performance of runners in scoring position specifically. Today, the Blues are 4 for 20 at-bats with runners in scoring position, only 4 successful at-bats, either walks or hits. Arroyo, Seco, Saints 8 for 15. Blues have had more at-bats with runners on, just haven't been able to capitalize.
And much different, as I've mentioned, from last night's game, where the Saints scored their only 2 runs of the game in the top of the 9th inning. They go the entire game without bringing anyone around. They don't have their first hit until the 6th inning, and it's like a whole different squad out there today. The count 1-1 to the second baseman, Braden Flores, hitting leadoff for the Saints today, just as he did last night. That ball will get away from Mater for a 2-1 count. The Blues down by 4, quite the deficit to make up in the bottom of the 9th. 1 out until they get there. That ball will be hit into center field, and he will land on first base. His 4th single of the day. He flew out to center in his first at-bat and has singled ever since then.
And yet again, Addy hit them where they ain't. Nobody was in the area, of course, and it just falls again for a single.
Yeah, not even a play where Alves could have tried to dive for it. I mean, she just found the spot exactly where no one was, and that's the reason he now stands on first. And yeah, the Saints have just done a great job of doing that today. Jacob Freer at the plate. The count 0-1. Freer with an RBI single in his last at-bat, but other than that, struck out twice and flew out to right. The pitch to Freer is low and inside for ball 1. Savino, who came in the 8th, he faced just the minimum. The 1-1 misses outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Blues not wanting to let the Saints bring any more around. They already have a 4-run deficit to make up in the bottom of the 9th. He'll hit that one over to the shortstop, Maria, who will backhand it. He'll throw it over to the second baseman. There will be no play, and it'll trickle into right field. And a runner will now stand on third, just 90 feet away from scoring. And Freer on first.
Yet another at bat, again, weak contact. I mean, Murillo did his best to make a play on that, and unfortunately it just was not in an area where he could successfully make a play. In fact, it was a detriment that he tried.
Yeah, trying to go over to second there to get the leadoff runner. You can see his idea.
Yes.
100% understand what the idea was there, but he already was kind of almost tripping over trying to get that ball that was so far off to his left side to try to 360 like that and make the play to second. It just wasn't going to happen, and unfortunately was so far off the bag that it fell over into right and allowed Braden Flores to third base. Now at the plate is Zach Light. He will step to the plate with 2 outs and 2 runners on already with 2 balls and no strikes. Zach Light, who hit into a double play in his last at-bat. He singled in the at-bat before that. And off goes Freer to second. The throw down to Murillo. And Freer attempts to go back to first.
The run does not score. He tagged him out before he reached home plate.
Braden Flores attempted to go home in the pickle, but Diego Murillo able to chase down Freer enough and then toss the ball to Reyes to make the tag. And no damage done in the top of the 9th inning. 2 hits, 1 runner left on base, no runs scored, no errors. The Blues look to take back 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th. For the Blues in the bottom of the 9th inning. They chase 4 runs. The Blues getting out of the top of the 9th unscathed after a stealing attempt by Jacob Freer. He's thrown out on a 2-6-3. And the Blues now look to finish it off here if they can in the bottom of the 9th inning. On the mound still for the Saints, it's Hudson Carvalho. The first pitch to the catcher is a called strike. Mater, who singled in his first at-bat, followed by a series of outs. The pitch way off the plate for ball one. The Saints have really managed their bullpen well today. Carvalho, just the second pitcher to come in for the Saints. Joe O'Rogan, who threw over 100 pitches before being switched out for the Duck from the University of Oregon. The count is 2-1 to Miles Mater. That'll be called strike 2.
And Addy, this really stretches back to yesterday. The fact that the Blues were only able to get to 2 of the pitchers the entire game yesterday. We're not able to let the Saints dig into their bullpen at all. They're seeing the results of that today by having to face their top arms.
Looks like Mater calls time. He's yet to swing at a pitch in the at-bat. The count is 2-2. The pitch swung on, it will drop, but Nishiwa will throw it down too late at first, and that'll be a drop, third strike for the first out in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Batting down number 2, Brendan Comerford.
Brendan Comerford now batting for the Blues. Comerford, who's reached base in his last 2 at-bats. He scored in the bottom of the 7th. The second run to come in for the Blues. He'll see the first strike. Comerford, who struck out and flew out in his first 2 at-bats, turned it around with a single and then a walk in the 5th and 7th. The count 0-2. The Saints just 2 outs away from taking this game. 0-2 pitch is way off the plate for ball 1. The Blues will take on the Saints once again tomorrow in a 2 p.m. Sunday game. It'll be their 3rd time playing them in a row as Comerford hits that one hard into right center field. It will be caught by the center fielder, Brandon Nguyen. Another great play made by the center fielder. And that'll be the 2nd out of the bottom of the 9th inning.
And that's just got to be deflating. I mean, again, Addy, it's been that type of day. Yes, the Blues have 10 hits, but if you really couple it with a lot of these hard hit balls that are finding gloves, that's an incredible play by the center fielder to be able to track that ball down, because that ball was crushed.
The ball was absolutely crushed out into right field. I really thought that one was going to fall for Comerford. I mean, just an exceptional effort by the center fielder. And Mason Ashlock, will hit that one over to shortstop. And the shortstop, Jacob Freer, will make the play to first. And the Saints will face the minimum to end the game. The final score 7-3. The Saints take back the game after losing to the Blues last night. And Hudson Carvalho, the Duck from the University of Oregon, will finish it out. I mean, pretty spectacular pitching for the Saints in the sense that they only used 2 pitchers. Joe O'Rogan, who led it off, pitched over 100 pitches before Hudson Carvalho came in to finish it out. On the other hand, Spencer Gallimore, Troy Cooper, and Charlie Ferris and Zach Savino all came to the mound for the Blues today and didn't do terribly on the mound. They just, the Saints were just able to connect bat to ball and find spots the Blues just weren't at. I mean, there's nothing really more you can say about that. They just had well-placed balls and good hard hits.
Their batting average on balls in play probably had to be in the 600s or 700s today. that's not something that's really sustainable. So you're looking at hopefully a different result tomorrow with everything going on. But a huge win here for the Saints, who were 9 games back coming into this game. They pick up a win. Orange County lost today. Conejo beat them. A big loss for the Blues today because they're only 2.5 games in front of the Crawdads. So we're kind of looking at the scoreboards and hoping the Stompers can fight off the Crawdads and beat them today.
Yeah, it's kind of that point in the season where you really got to be watching your wins and losses. Every win, every loss really matters, especially in the north where the Crawdads are so close behind. And being this central in California, the Blues go south a lot. They play a lot of teams in the South Conference, not just the North, whereas the Crawdads maybe will stay a lot more north. I mean, as you mentioned, they take on the Conejo Oaks, who are in the Southern Conference, but still you'll see that the Blues will take on a lot more teams down south, as they will tomorrow.